Hello, welcome to another English video. In this video, we are going to talk about word order in English. Word order. Why is word order important in English, and what is it? Well, word order is when we put the order of the words in the sentence in a way that makes sense. For example, in English, we always have subject plus the verb plus the object, and that's the most common word order for sentences in English, and it's important to follow this because it might not make sense if we don't. So we also have to have subject and verb agreement, which means if you say Susan and you want to say the verb read, you have to say reads because Susan is in the third person. So that subject and the verb must agree. And then you have an object, and the object is really what takes the verb. The action is directed at the object. So Susan does the action, and then the action is directed at the object. And the subject and the verb must be in agreement, which means you cannot say Susan read, because reads must be used with her because it's the third person. Okay. And the verb and the object. Read is the verb and books is the object. So the verb and the object usually go together. And that's how we make a sentence in English. So let's look at more verb objects and word order in English. For example, we have she speaks English very well. So this will be the order. We have the subject, the verb, and the object. And then here we have very well, which is like the adjective, but it needs to go after the object. Okay, so English is described with very well. It goes after the object, no? You can't say she speaks very well English, because you have to say she speaks and then English very well, because that adjective needs to go after the object and the verb. So let's look at another example. Did you watch a film this evening? So here we have did, which is the question word, and then you is the subject, watch is the verb, and a film is the object, and then this evening tells us the time. So it's a time reference. So if you make a question, it has to be the question word first, then the subject and the verb and the object. And this evening tells us when the action happened. It tells us when, but it needs to be at the end of the sentence. So let's look at another example. For example, I like Mexican food very much. So here we have I as the subject, like is the verb, and Mexican food is the object, and very much is the adjective to tell us how much. It's related to the verb and the object, but it needs to go after the object. You can't say I like very much Mexican food. It's I like Mexican food and then how much you like it, the adjective after. So let's look at a few more examples of word order in sentences. Sarah often wears a red coat. here we have Sarah is the verb, wears, Sarah is the subject, wears is the verb, and a red coat is the object. And often is adjective to tell us how often. Time reference. So it needs to go in between Sarah and it goes before the verb. So we use it as an adjective and it goes before the verb and it tells us how. You can't say Sarah wears often a red coat or Sarah often wears a red coat and it goes there. Okay, so let's look at one more sentence example of how we word order in English sentences. We invited many people to dinner. So here we have we is the subject, invited is the verb, and many people is the object, and then to tells us where, and it goes after the object. Okay, so I hope this video has helped you to understand how we use word order in English sentences with a subject, a verb, and an object, and how that works. Good luck with your English.